Hello everyone, welcome to Dnyanadeep Academy. In today's session, we'll discuss one very important question of daily answer writing. Let's go through the question first. Economic growth. See, I told you one thing. The moment you are in your examination hall and the moment you start reading question, start underlining keywords. I am repeating, start underlining keywords. Do not underline entire question. This practice you have to practice at home only. So economic growth in the recent past has been led by increase in labor activity. So here we are talking about increase in economic growth, and this increase in economic growth is being influenced by increased labor activity. Explain this particular point. So this is first part that we are expected to explain. So this is first part, or straight away this is the locus and focus of the question in half part. Second part, suggest the growth pattern. So what kind of growth that you should focus that will lead to creation of more jobs without compromising labor productivity. So first thing, you want to have more job. Also, while giving more job, it should not compromise labor productivity also. It means your production should be efficient, economic and affordable. But while having this good production, you should make an attempt to create more number of jobs. You are expected to create more labor intensive sector which will not compromise the profitability or which will not compromise the competitiveness of that particular industry is the main focus of this particular question. See, this is the type of question that are being asked by UPSC time and again in the recent past, and UPSC wants you to think creatively. UPSC do not want people who are having lot of data, lot of information, those who mug every current event magazine, they watch every YouTube video. No, UPSC wants thinking animals. UPSC wants the people who can give their own creative best while attempting the question. So basically, economic growth is first point. Second is labor activity. Third is growth pattern. Fourth is creation of more job, and fifth is our labor productivity should not be compromised. So these are the keywords. Now let's go forward. So as usual, what is locus of the question? So economic growth is the locus of the question. What is locus? Economic growth is the locus of the question. It means everything should boil down to economic growth, whether it is labor activity or more job creation or growth pattern. Everything should go down towards economic growth. This particular question has two focuses. First, role of labor activity in economic growth. This is the first focus. That is first half of the question. In this first half of the question, you have to explain how this increased labor activity has led to economic growth. First part of your answer. Second part, you have to search various growth pattern which will lead to what? Which will lead to increased jobs. Which will lead to increased jobs, but simultaneously, these growth pattern should not compromise productivity. So, when you classify the questions in this manner, you will definitely come to the answer. You will definitely come to organize whatever you read, how you can put in the answer. So, always think in the perspective of what is locus of the question and what is focus of the question. I will go towards the answer. Now, in this particular case, your introduction should start with what is the significance of labor activity in economic growth. But if at all it happens that you are not able to write the introduction, straight away start with the answer. It happens many times that you are not able to put correct introduction or put a relevant conclusion. So do not worry about introductions and conclusion. Just away jump to what is being asked in the question and try to write the answer in a very relevant manner. If in these kinds of question you are not able to come to the part with what could be introduction or what could be the conclusion, straight away go towards writing the answer. Here we have two parts for this particular question. First part is, so explain how labor activity, that is increased labor activity in labor, in their life, in their economic activity, in their skill area will help in economic growth. So here simply I have given 10 to 15 points that how increased labor activity will lead to certain important outcomes, and these certain important outcomes will give us more economic growth. So increased labor activity will lead to increased productivity. It will lead to more innovation. The more innovation that you have, less money, less resources, less capital will give you more output. Human capital development, the most important part of any labor activity. Next one is entrepreneurship, which is the most important objective of government. Government wants that this young generation should develop a skill, should develop an innovation, should develop their own human capacities to be a good entrepreneur. Then next one, when the people will earn more, there will be more consumer demand. Then specialization, the more skill is there, people will have more and more specialization, more labor activity. Foreign exchange earning will be there if we are having good labor activity. Infrastructure development, social welfare, increased tax revenue. So when there is more labor activity, more all these things will happen, and when more all these things will happen, it will ultimately lead to increased economic growth. So this is first part of your answer. Now I have given you the points. It is your skill, it is your what we can say practice that is going to help you give you more marks. Now coming to second part of the answer. So before that, certain points are remaining. Global competitiveness is there, inclusive growth is there, economic resilience, technological adoption, and social stability. So increased labor activity will give all these things, and all these things are there. Ultimately these things are going to give us more amount of economic growth. First part. Second part, what kind of growth pattern? Second part, second part, what kind of growth pattern that we should follow? All our economic activities should follow certain growth pattern. Certain things should be focused, certain things should be neglected. So what kind of growth pattern that should be followed if you want to grow more and more? So what kind of growth pattern? So first you have to focus more and more on labor intensive sectors. What is meaning of labor intensive sectors? The sectors which employ more number of people per unit of production are called as labor intensive sector. I repeat once again, the sectors which employ more number of people per unit of production in a profitable manner is called as labor intensive sectors. Leather, handloom, handicraft, all these are labor intensive sectors. Then we should focus more on small and medium enterprises, where with less amount of capital, less land, less resources, you can generate more job and without compromising productivity. Service sector expansion, the most neglected part. Yes, we can be called as a service sector giant, or in many of the economic surveys it has been said that service sector is the engine of growth for Indian economy. Agreed, but still we are not actualizing the potential of service sector, and this service sector will definitely help you generate more jobs without compromising productivity if proper skills set is given. Then innovation and technology, green and renewable energy, where we should start working with more job generation. Infrastructure development, retail and e-commerce that we are seeing right now. Various kinds of chains are there which are selling everything at your doorstep. Healthcare and elderly care, which is neglected part, where we are not getting manpower. Many of the manpower are working in Middle East countries. Agriculture modernization, the most important aspect where we should work. Right now at many agricultural places we are not getting agricultural labor, so we have to work on agricultural modernization by giving them proper skill set. Tourism and hospitality, where we are lacking behind many Asian countries. Then education and skill development, creative and cultural industry, advanced manufacturing, new area is developing, social and community services, where we are not working for creating job, domestic and personal services. So you might have this confusion that sir is giving just only points. Why I am giving you points? So that you should start thinking on this part, that how these points can be used for generating more job. make use of internet, use these points and just put it over there, or try to use your brain instead of using internet, how these points can help us generate more jobs without compromising productivity of our labor. So that's all from my side. What should the conclusion? What is the need of the hour? What we should focus more on? So we have to balance labor productivity with job creation and economic growth, finally leading to economic development. So word economic development is a qualitative concept. It is a qualitative concept which is focusing more on inclusive growth and development and all other aspects. So that's all. Keep watching the questions. Thank you.